You're listening to The Building Code. I'm Tom Houghton.
I'm Paul Worth.
Today we have Ken Marr from Habitat for Humanity Omaha joining us. Hi, Ken.
Hey guys, how are you?
Great, thanks for asking.
We're in a great mood.
It's a great day.
Truly,
As I am.
Yeah.
So,
Ken, welcome.
thanks for having me.
Ken's a friend of the program, a friend of mine, a friend of Buildertrend. That's why we have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Ken, maybe give us a background to start off, first off, about Habitat for Humanity Omaha, and speak about your position and your team there.
Habitat for Humanity of Omaha has been around since 1984. When I started there back in late 2010, early 2011, we had about 14, 15 employees. And today we're over 110 employees.
Wow.
So when you look at it from a nonprofit aspect of it, it's like exponential growth because you just don't have that backing. A lot of the discussion has been around Habitat is, how do you grow so fast? And of course, we're all community driven. We're driven by as much as what the community wants us to do. So, we've continued to grow because the advocacy needs and the needs of families around the North Omaha area that we serve continues to grow, as well as kind of the advocacy part of it with the home ownership side, as well as just anything in general regarding home ownership. We fall into that range.
For those who don't know, everybody knows about Habitat for Humanity in general, but let's just say you don't. What is Habitat for Humanity? And I know you guys do here locally a couple different things, like the restore. And can you explain everything you guys do?
Right. So there's a lot of things that people don't know that we do. Everyone kind of encapsulate Habitat around, Jimmy Carter kind of invented you guys, right, in the 80s when he was finished with his term of presidency. And really, we've been around long before that. Basically, what we do is we build affordable housing, and it's simple, decent, affordable housing. And it's nothing more than that. There's an affordable housing crisis in Omaha, as there is in the U.S. as well. What we do is we build homes, and families apply. And then those families buy the home from Habitat at an appraised value. They purchase the home from us, and they pay a mortgage. And from there, Paul, you talked a little bit about Restore. And Restore, those monies generated or restores go right back into the operations and build more houses for us. So we have two stores in Omaha. One is on 24th and Leavenworth, just south of Leavenworth Street. And then we have one on 108th and Maple as well. And between those two stores, there are about 45,000 feet total. One is a really large store at about 25,000, 28,000 square feet, and it's a store that we opened in 2012, and it generates about $1.3 million in revenue, and it just does a wonderful job of telling the story of what you can do by not throwing things away. It keeps stuff out of landfills. It makes people renovate, restore things, and it gives that general idea that you're here for the community, and it's more that green idea that everyone's been pressing. So.
Have you been to Restore before?
I actually haven't.
It's really cool.
Yeah. What would you find there?
Well, so yeah, that's a good question. So this is the program that contractors, some local vendors like suppliers, and then even like your just normal homeowners, when they're demoing or have extra material, they donate it to you guys, and then you sell it. Is that correct?
Right. It's a lot like the Goodwill model, but instead of clothes, we take stuff out of your garage. And
there you go.
That was kind of the initial genesis of it. Is you might have 2 or 3 2x4s left over from a job that you had in your garage. Instead of throwing it out like most people do, just call Restore, or you drop it by the stores, and we basically resell it to somebody like me who just happens to need a couple 2x4s. I'll come by and get it. But what it's turned into multiple things as far as of people just donating things, and it could be lawnmowers, it's furniture, it's furnishings, it's basically anything under the sun that we'll take other than clothes. But what's really exciting is we also started a new project called Deconstruction about 3-4 years ago. That's powered by the Nebraska Environmental Trust, and it's basically to keep stuff out of landfills. So what that project is as we go out and we'll demo 30 homes a year with our construction group, instead of basically tearing it down and it going to the landfill, we take it down piece of wood by piece of wood, and it comes down and we resell it at the Restore.
That's awesome.
It takes out, just think of how much a house coming down would take, probably 5 or 6 truckloads, dump truckloads of just stuff, let's call it. Well, it's taken out and not put in the landfill, and it's taken right to the stores.
And is that a product or program just local at the Omaha chapter, or is that across the U.S.? Like, can people in other states?
There's
find
deconstruction projects all over the U.S., but within Nebraska, it's only found in Omaha as far as the whole deconstruction project with Habitat
and the restore?
Yeah.
And the restore.
Is the restore concept all over?
Yes, it is. There's 750 restores all over the U.S., and just like every affiliate, they're a little bit different on how they're managed as far as and also what they bring in as well, what's donated. So some specialize in medical products that they'll bring in. Some specialize in just purchased paint or purchased products like in Des Moines. But as far as the restore in its truest sense in Omaha is truly stuff that's donated, and that's what we sell. We'll have we do carry paint as that we'll purchase. It's used paint, but it's reconditioned and sold under the Amazon model, and it's an Amazon product. Not made by Amazon, the company we know.
Yeah, I was like,
I
was confused.
But the company is called Amazon Paint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
That's really cool. Tom, you'll go this weekend.
I will.
Yeah.
There's a portion of the store called the market, and everyone who steps in it will love it. Not that the store's not great, but it's refurbished, it's restored items that just, you'll walk in there and you'll buy something.
Basically, it's like Target. Like if you go in, you're buying something.
You're buying something. Yeah.
Probably more than you need. Oh, one more thing, sorry, about the local chapter. It's very big in terms of the rank of all the chapters in the
we're
US, right?
out of the 1,300 affiliates around the world, we're ranked in the top 5.
Wow.
And of course the big ones that we kind of model ourselves, or we do peer-to-peer type studies and things like that, happen to be in the Twin Cities, in Minneapolis, and in the Dallas area.
And am I correct that Habitat's based out of Atlanta?
Habitat is based out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's where the headquarters is. Originally, it was founded and based in Americus, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Which is down by White Plains, where Jimmy Carter
There you
Jimmy
go.
Carter.
lived. Yep.
Came full circle there. Nice job.
Exactly.
So if you don't know who Jimmy Carter is, check the show notes page. I know.
Yes. How'd you find yourself? Because you have a cool story. You, I won't tell it for you, but you left corporate America and you joined Habitat, right?
Yeah, I was at Gallup for about 15 years as corporate treasurer. I would fly around the world and around the U.S., buying and selling companies and doing accounting stuff and doing treasury stuff. Amanda actually worked at Gallup for a couple of years. Amanda Brewer is our current CEO, executive director, and she worked at Habitat after a long stint with Habitat International in Atlanta and Americas. So she moved back 03, 04, I believe, and she worked at Gallup, and that's where I met her. And then she was there for, I think, maybe 18 months. And then the local affiliate here in Omaha called her and asked her to be the executive director. So then we'd stay in touch and talk and run into each other, run into friends that both knew us. And then about 09 and 10, she called and we started talking. And yeah, I came over. It was great. But it got me out of an airplane, got me thinking a lot more about the whole general idea of making the world a little bit better than when you got here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He made being a treasurer for a company sound like the most exciting thing ever.
Right. Getting on a jet.
I was just jumping
around
on a jet every day, buying and selling companies on a whim.
Yeah. That sounds like
that
Dave
cool.
Hinderrocker.
I wish it was that cool, but yeah, it was fun because it was just going out and trying to figure out a way to buy more of your market.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's what I did a lot.
For you though, a lot of it was just personally you wanted to give back and kind of make that part of your life, right? Was that part of it?
Yeah. After a while, and it's not right or wrong. It's just what you feel personally. But it's trying to make that number every month. Whether it's a sales number, or whether it's a profitability number, or what your stock price is going to be, which is all fine. But I just started listening to what Amanda had to say and where Habitat was going. And the numbers, there's not quite as many numbers as far as zeros,
right.
But as far as the job itself, it's the same exact type of stuff that we ran into in the for-profit world. You always have, especially my role as chief operating officer, you have building facility issues, you have issues with, of course, people, you have issues with, and that's not good or bad, but it's you'll have stuff with vehicles, you'll have, and then just your business in general as far as how you grow it, how you build it, and where it's going to go. So,
and would you attribute your success or the growth of from when you started
People
about
or
15
so,
to
yeah.
over 100. With that,
Yeah.
is that because you and Amanda and maybe some other leaders there put some of your business acumen from a previous life
Yeah,
into
and it was definitely a choice by our board that said we need to, the community is asking for more of us. So that's when we decided let's really step on the gas pedal. So let's say in 2012, over a few years, my two goals were, when I first started, was one, to find a new office building for us to house not only our warehouse, but also our offices, and also to find the second restore. And we hit those objectives. And then from there, now we have a place that we can put people, and we can start thinking about how we're going to grow. Not as fast as we had thought, but when you get from 15 homes to 20 homes, then all of a sudden you're looking at, geez, how do we get scalable? Because like any business, you kind of plateau, and then you're looking for that next little shot in the arm. And it happened to be Buildertrend, because at the time we're looking to go from like 20, 25 homes to another 20 homes or so, increasing it from that to get to about 40. And we needed a piece of software that we could use that would help us get scalable quickly, help us with communication, help us with repository information as well, keeping it for as long as we need it to, and a basic understanding that when you work, you're accountable for your work. That's what the Buildertrend product has brought us. So, it's changed our business.
When did we cross paths? Like, how did you come to us?
I called you because in our construction committee, one of our bankers said, "Have you talked to Buildertrend?"
Okay.
I said, "No, I haven't." and that's when I called you, and you and I hooked up, and away we go.
That was fun.
So yeah.
So like 5 years ago, was it?
Yeah, I would say probably 14.
Great.
Probably late 14 or so. But yeah, I think we really got it going in 15. But it took us a while because when you're that small, not only are you still trying to do your business, and now you're trying to implement a piece of software that's completely out of bounds, because people are thinking this is going to be on our phone and we're going to do what?
Right.
So it was small steps. It was taking pictures at first, and then we figured out, this is what we can start using it for. And now it's embedded. It's part of our fabric at Habitat.
That's great. It's a similar story to a lot of people.
Yeah. So you talked about your growth. For 2019, what's your projected amount of houses that you're going to be?
We're shooting for 56 homes.
That's great.
This year, and then about 150 home repair projects that we'll work on.
That would be another thing you do. So the restore, the new home ground up, but then you do a whole program of remodels, but also you mentioned something about landscaping as well.
We do. So let's hit a few of those.
Yeah.
So we own about 450 pieces of property all over North Omaha, and that's basically for future. It's our future inventory. That's where we're going to build in the next 10 years or so. So when you own a piece of land, you have to manage it.
Right.
So our facilities management team manages about 450 pieces of land. We have to go out and mow, snow removal, as well as taking off debris, sofas and stuff like that. And then when you think about how all that kind of mixes in, it just adds on to another layer of our warehouse. So we have a construction piece. We've just added our own in-house electrician and our own house plumber as well. And we're next year we're going to move into having our own in-house HVAC air conditioning guy. But with that kind of helps us with quality and it helps us with timeliness.
So they would like train people, right?
They would, but more often than not, they're on the job sites, kind of doing they're just practicing their skill. So,
because for those who don't know, one of the parts about Habitat is your volunteer program. So when you're building a home or doing renovations, you're asking for volunteers from the community. Our team has been out there a handful of times. We're going to do a bunch more over the next year.
Right.
It's great for our people because most people here have never swung a hammer.
That's 99% of our volunteers. They don't have construction experience. So whether they're attorneys or whether they're students from Creighton, they don't have any construction skill, but they come out because they want to serve.
Right.
And they come out and serve, and we have over 10,000 volunteers a year, and they come out and they help us build the 56 homes that we're putting up this year.
And you have Habitat employees that are guiding them. Right. So you'll say, hey, this is how you put up a soffit.
Right. We have construction supervisors that are on site, and they'll lead the 10 to 15 volunteers a day.
Yeah. And they're great. Yeah. And they have to have that skill set that most don't for profit, which is you have to be able to be really good with people, be really good communicator, be patient.
There's a lot of the human side.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the human side that our construction
Right.
team has to have. When I first started, we kind of had to change our hiring model as well. So it went from real construction, check the list, meeting deadlines, to a person that wasn't afraid to look at a volunteer eye to eye and be okay with having the project fall behind a little bit, because our main driver was that the volunteer was going to have a great day. Because these volunteers, just like all of us, if we're taking a day off from work, we want to go have a good time. We don't want to have a time where someone's yelling at us.
Right.
So that was the main driver, was just to make sure that the volunteers were engaged and they would have a great time, and try to do something on the job site. And if it didn't happen, then you know what? We'll worry about the next day. But all in all, over just the law of averages tell you our build times are about 16 weeks. That's how the timeline that we build around our Gantt charts within our Buildertrend.
Yeah. You guys have a great team.
Yeah.
Our team, like I said, has been out there, have nothing but good things to say. It's team building. So you'll probably get a lot of corporations that do this.
We do.
And then, your people are really great about communicating.
Yeah. One thing that we didn't talk about was our home repair. So we'll do about 150 home repair this year, included in the home repair. So there's about 60 projects where we'll go out and we'll do the kind of the exterior pieces where it's new siding or a new roof or a new patio or something like that, where someone really needs that, and that's what the home repair.
Well, is there an aspect to that maybe I think we talked about this, where you actually are going to give a facelift to the neighborhood community? Right.
So that's what we call our neighborhood revitalization.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that team goes out, and it's 4 or 5 times a year, and it's basically 125 volunteers show up, and they'll hit a 2-block area, and it's just neighbors helping neighbors, and it's really community driven, and it's really nothing heavy construction wise, but it's fixing gutters, it's fixing screens, but it's beautifying the neighborhood. So maybe it's pulling weeds, maybe it's mowing, but it's that general light touch that helps you meet the neighbors. Because if you're like me, I may know my neighbor that I've lived across the street from for 25 years. I may have said 5 words to him past 25 years. So a lot of that is just building that community that we're all looking for.
It also creates like pride in your neighborhood, right?
Oh yeah.
Once you clean something up, you kind of want to keep it that way.
Keep it nice. Yeah.
That's a really cool program.
So there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that neighborhood revitalization does. So
we've talked about a few different ways people could get involved. I guess next steps for somebody listening that says, you know what, I'd love to help out. What would be their best next step?
HabitatOmaha.org.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to give, you want to donate, you want to donate to Restore, you want to volunteer, hit HabitatOmaha.org. And
is there a national website, and then you could go find your local chapter?
I believe if you go to habitat.org, you'll be able to kind of get through it.
It's crazy you guys do so many different things. Mm-hmm. Like you said, some people have a pretty general assumption of Habitat, like what they do. But as we've seen, we've already had like 4 different programs. One I love is the Builders Blitz, right? Because a couple of years I went out there to see you just to talk to you. I wasn't volunteering, but It was amazing. I mean, can you explain what that is?
Well, that's a culmination of a whole year's work. So it's planned. It's a 10 home build. This year there happens to be 8, and we're looking for 2 more builders. But they're commercial builders that come out. I guess residential builders as well, but they're commercial builders that come out, and they literally build a home in a week. Mm-hmm. So it's we'll have the foundations are poured, but they'll come out and they'll start decking, and walls go up. Siding goes up, or roof goes up, and all the inside goes, the interior happens, and it goes up in a week. And with that, it helps us because those 10 homes would take us, again, on an average 16 weeks. Mm-hmm. Well, here it just helps us serve that many more families, and it gets adds up to our 56 home goal.
Well, year. At least the one I was at. The other thing is you completely transform a block. You're basically wiping out a block, starting fresh. The one I was at was across the street from like an elementary school. Yeah. So I could just tell how powerful it was going to be for the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, a lot of the homes, a lot of the areas that we're in, especially where our Blitz located at, the empty lots outnumber the homes, and then the homes have been dilapidated, or they've been burned, or just been vacant, and through many years of not nobody living in it, just needs to be torn down. If the foundation and a home are livable, we will go in and do a full gut rehab and try to maintain the envelope of the neighborhood, but But in a Blitz situation, more often than not, it's 8 or 9 homes that are going up, and maybe 1 or 2 that will be full, complete rehabs, gut rehabs. But within that range, Paul, you got it right as far as it transforms the neighborhood, the 10 homes that we're building there. But it goes a lot farther than that, because we bring in, we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it brings in all the neighbors from surrounding blocks, as well as surrounding neighborhoods as well. Mm-hmm. But what it goes to is it kind of goes back to the neighborhood revitalization, where you're transforming not only the neighborhood but the community. So there's a bigger community involvement, in a bigger sense that you're part of something bigger.
So you need volunteers to donate supplies, donate the food, donate the time, as far as like coming out there and helping those builders, because they're not doing it themselves with just their employees. You need a bunch of volunteers to help them.
Right. So the builders are the majority of them are commercial builders. Mm-hmm. So sometimes they have to figure out residential building code as well. So they're used to building, the building we're in, mm-hmm. And they're not used to building, a single family home, 3-bedroom. Yeah. So with wood, more often than not, it's a steel structure. So as they go through that, they also bring in subs, and their subs, whether it be HVAC, framing crews, roofing crews, they have to come in, and all those crews are kind of filtered into that, or compressed into that 1 week span. Mm-hmm. So at any one day, there's probably 300 volunteers on site building, mm-hmm. and we feed every one of them. 3 squares a day. I think you came on a Tuesday, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are mass chaos, because that's when the most construction's happening. And then about Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday is all the interior drywall and stuff like that. So it's a little less hectic, but still wild.
It was chaos, but there was a great energy.
Oh yeah,
and people were like, everybody was in that servant spirit, which you could tell, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's what we're always. That's what we're always about, is trying to find that spot in someone's heart, to where, hey, I'm serving and make the world a little bit better. So
that's awesome.
You're always like that, Tom.
Oh, thanks, Paul.
Don't even need to open that door. It's always open.
Thanks.
Was that a weird reference?
That's a rally killer.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Did you?
That's a rally killer.
So. Ken, I noticed I went out actually last fall to meet up with one of the teams, and as a complete outsider to this, I was thinking, like, again, you're walking into a situation where it's like, I'm here to help, but I don't really know anything. And again, I thought the volunteer coordinator did a great job explaining stuff. But one of the things I learned was about this sweat equity that is required of the future home buyer. It was a neat thing to hear for them, that they're actually like participating in the build process, because I think they learn things along the way. That's the other part of the goal, right?
Right. So there's a program, when you get approved into the program, families are required, if it's a married couple, they're required to put 350 sweat equity hours in. That's building your own home, that's going to classes, and that's helping at other job sites as well. But also you might be building your own home, helping build someone else's home, but also understanding the idea of what it takes to be a homeowner. That's what the sweat equity is all about. And then if it's a single wage earner in the family, will require about 250 sweat equity hours.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just thought that was neat to kind of empower those people to, again, it's kind of that self-pride of like, look, I actually helped do this.
Right.
And then also the learning process.
Yeah, and that basically replaces the down payment that you have to make when you normally buy a home. So
neat.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was just me, but I think some people assume that those families are getting those houses for free.
No, they're purchasing it. They're signing a 30-year mortgage, and and they're making house payments just like everyone is.
Yeah.
So that owns a home. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Well, Ken, thank you so much for coming on the program today. We had a great time getting to learn more about Habitat, how much you guys are impacting the world. It's such an exciting mission that you have there. So thanks for being a part of our story. Thanks for coming on and sharing that.
So the listeners can support a couple different ways, right? So we're going to go as a family trip, me and you and our families, to the Restore this weekend.
Yeah, sure.
So go to the Restore, donate to the Restore, because you'll have one probably locally, wherever you're at in the world. You can donate money. You guys are always looking for monetary gifts, right? And then also volunteer on site, swing a hammer.
Yeah. And don't forget to check the show notes to see pictures of Tom and Paul at the Restore.
Oh, no.
And more importantly, if you know of anybody that needs home repair, we service all of Douglas and Sarpy County as well. So
right.
If you know
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
How do you apply if you need home repair, or if you have somebody you know, just go to the website?
Yeah, just go to the website. It'll completely go through the whole flow of how you apply.
Perfect.
So yeah, or
Great.
you can always give us a call as well.
And that's again, that website is habitatomaha.org.
Correct.
Okay.
Or find your local one.
Or find your local one. You can find out those links at our show notes page, buildertrend.com/podcast. We'll have the links on there for you.
Yeah. From Buildertrend to you guys, we think you guys do, we know you guys do a great job. Appreciate everything you guys do. Glad that we're in a partnership.
Thanks for everything you guys do for us.
Yeah.
And the
Happy.
community. So
Go team.
Go team. You can find Ken at our bar about once a week.
twice.
I swear I see you here like every week.
He admits.
I always see you too. Paul.
He's a
you see me.
local.
I guess the reason I see you is because I'm there as well.
Exactly. All right,
And
good.
with that, cheers.
Yeah. Make sure you check out our show notes page. Also, don't forget to subscribe and rate our podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Building Code.
Appreciate you.